Good evening, everyone. Come on in. Let's get started so we can be out of here on time. Okay, guys, we're going to be continuing tonight with Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We're going to continue observing that for the month. Last week when we talked about the different types of abuse, it came up to where we were talking about the different types of abuse. So I started thinking on that a little bit more when we finished, and I got confirmation that we were going to go this route with a couple of things that happened this week. And also woke up this morning. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Woke up this morning and it just confirmed that we needed to touch on this. So there are different moods, mood disorders. And the one I want to touch on tonight is narcissism. So we know that there are a lot of different type of abusers out there, and this one is going more on the route of the mental abuse and verbal. So I wrote a few things down here. And a narcissism or narcissistic is a personality disorder as well. So the definition of a narcissist is a person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. It's a disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self-importance. So we have the good or healthy narcissism, and we're going to talk about the healthy narcissism versus unhealthy. So we have the healthy narcissism enables us to have confidence and investment in ourselves to succeed due to a reported high self-esteem, self-love. So that's an example of the healthy narcissism. So we all want to possess that trait, to have high self-esteem, believe in ourselves, know that, hey, even though somebody tell me that, hey, they don't believe in me, you believe in yourself, and you know that, hey, I'm a go-getter, I'm gonna get this done. Woo, woo, woo. And you may find yourself in a relationship with a person like that, and that's a good thing to an extent, until they start basically thinking they're better than you and you're beneath them, and that gets into the unhealthy narcissism of a person. So unhealthy narcissism, a person with trust issues, people whom use opportunities to control people. Self-loving, a person who has to be in control of everything. Deep need for excessive attention. So look out for that. Never acknowledging their own faults. So what causes unhealthy narcissism is what I wrote. I Googled a lot of things, and also I watched a segment on this, and some of the things they threw out there was this person may have mental health issues, to the point to where, you know, some people, they have mental health issues and you clearly can see that they're presenting those issues. But some people, they have underlying mental health issues. It's where this kind of kicks into. So you have to kind of turn on your radar and think about that and keep an eye open for that. So self-health issues, traumatic past, PTSD syndrome, substance abuse, poverty, broken home, abandonment issues, low self-esteem, low self-love, hides behind a smile, most narcissism are men, but that's not a proven fact, so don't go off that. But typically, men or narcissists suffer from narcissism because they are the head. And like we were talking about, all these men, they want to be categorized as these kings as they are, but they're not holding up that position, you know, as a king. So this kind of falls into that. So I wrote, the male figure is more dominant in the relationship. King men often use scripture, or their raising to justify the way they should be treated or a woman should treat them. I'm a king, respect me, submit to me, is the usual terms that they will go into. They use these things to belittle women a lot. Everyone deserves respect. Your mate should be your equal. That's what I wrote, because that's what I feel. You know, even though we as women, we should be submissive to our men or our kings, because that's the order in Yah, but still, it should be an equal. We should always look at each other as if, hey, you're my helpmate, you know, and nobody's more superior in the relationship. We as women and men should have to take responsibility when choosing a mate. So this gets to the point to where I was just saying, you guys have to be on guard about the person you choose. You know, a lot of times we try to go out for looks and how much money they got, what kind of car they drive, not knowing what we're entering into, you know. So everything that is glitter is not gold. And I know we heard that a lot when we were younger, and it's a true statement. It's a true statement. So I want to break off and see what you guys think. Has anybody on here ever dealt with the narcissist? Have any stories that you guys want to drop down, or anything you want to talk about before I get into it? Because I wrote a lot of stuff out just in case I didn't have any participation tonight, because I know I really don't have that much participation. And I don't see anybody comments. I can't tell who on here or anything. So if you guys want to drop a comment just to say hey, and so I can see who I'm talking to. How was you guys this week? Mine was pretty good, you know. Satan stepped in as usual on Wednesdays, but I handled it way better than I normally have, and I could tell that I'm getting more used to doing this and just taking it for what it's worth, you know, and pressing through any issue. First off, I want to say YouTube's doing pretty good. Got a few more subscribers over there, and I am over here tonight just because just want to give people a little bit more time to warm up to the YouTube aspect of everything. So who I got watching me? I see it's a couple people on here. I want to say hey. Come on, y'all. Say something. So getting back into this, I would say what I've learned in studying up on this is that we have to really start doing background checks. I know when you meet a person, we kind of go through the normal questions. How many kids you got? You know, where you from? And, you know, just typical questions. And I just want you guys to keep in mind, like, when you are asking these questions, go a little bit more in depth. Like a person, they might, let me just throw some out there. They might say, well, I've had 5 relationships, or I've been married 3 or 4 times, and I've been in prison, or such and such. We need to start digging with those questions. And instead of, you know, letting our feelings get into it so quickly, we need to start doing our research a little bit more in depth than we are. And that will kind of get you to thinking about what you're dealing with. I'll just throw out my experience is that when I was dating people when I was younger, like after I had my daughter, and things didn't work out with me and her dad, it was just like I was eager to be in a relationship. A lot of it had to do with that I wanted my daughter to have a constant father in the home, because that's what I didn't have. And I had a stepdad, and he was great, you know, so I was kind of looking for that to replace that, because me and her father did not have a typical two-family home. So I would kind of settle for stuff, and I would overlook a lot of things, and every time it didn't work. Like, you kind of know, women, us as women, I can't speak on no males, so if we have some males on here, if you guys want to drop down your comments and give your thoughts about whatever we're talking about, you're welcome to do that. But all I can do is just talk from my experience, which was the flags were there. Like, us as women, we're blessed with a gift, and that is our intuition. So when you feel it, 9 times out of 10, it is right. But like I was saying, I kind of shied away from it, because I was like, okay, nobody's perfect, and I ain't perfect. I got a baby. I had a baby young, and I didn't talk to this person, that person, you know, trying to make excuses for why I was not deserving of somebody that was not damaged. And not to say that everybody who's damaged or had problems, or we're going to talk about narcissists and how they can, you know, repair from that. But I just didn't feel like I was worthy to have anything but somebody with problems, because I had problems and issues. So yeah, that's my experience. And needless to say, I wish I would have held out, and I would have had more self-love for myself, and more confidence in myself, and just waited, and then settle for just the first thing that came by. And that's what I want to suggest to you guys. You know, you are worth it. You're worthy. And it's somebody out there for everybody. So don't feel like you have to take on somebody's problems or their issues just because of what you've been through, or what you feel like you don't deserve, because we all know that's not true. I'm finding that out the older I get. So anybody want to say anything? I don't want to feel like I'm just taking the floor and talking. I want you guys to feel like you guys can talk as well, if you guys got something to say. So, anybody want to give some instances, or has anybody dealt with a narcissist before? And what was your story? What would you recommend? So I wrote down some telltale signs that they said you should look for in a narcissist. Okay. Unable to deal with their own psychological issues. Multiple failed relationships. Most narcissists are handsome, pretty, attractive, and people of stature. Or pretty. I put handsome / pretty. They're well-known people. They're well-liked. They most likely prey on the damaged. People with low empathy. Shallow personalities. The weak. A narcissist rarely apologizes. They take people's kindness for granted. I was surprised at this one. Most narcissists are teeth gritters. That's what they said. They throw fits of rage for the slightest things. They twist your words. And here's the big one. You ready? They love bomb you. They start off with all the gifts, constant phone calls. You can often feel overwhelmed by them. Like, why are they trying to rush into this? Like, is this something that I need to be looking out for? Because something ain't right. You know, a person can come at you so hard, and you be like, I'm scared to even be in a relationship with you because you're too eager. It's like they're trying to push yourself off. Sometimes their parents will push them off on you. Have anybody experienced that? Where a mother has like, oh, you need to come see my son, and you need to be with my son, and da-da-da-da. Or Same for a woman. Like they're trying to hurry up and eagerly like pawn them off on you. Back to the love bomb, because I was super shocked by this, and it opened my eyes to a lot. So they rush love. They claim to fall in love with you quickly. They say they can't live without you. Sometimes when you meet a person and you meet and you go on a date and like y'all come together and you never separate. Like they never go home. You never go home. It's just the constant, like they feel the need that they gotta cling to you and push all their love on you at one time. So that goes to say, women, when you know better, do better. You know, don't let nobody rush you into anything. Don't let them make you feel like they can't live without you. What was you doing before you met me? You know, and take your time and give space. I like Steve Harvey's 90-day rule about the sex situation, but I think it should be on a lot of things. Like, I think the first date should have, after your first date, it should be some time in between it, probably a week or two, to when you go out with them again, you know, just to prolong that time and slow things down so you have time to think about what you're doing. And then when you're dating people, don't just date one person. Young girls get this twisted a lot. I don't like to hear young girls in serious relationships because you're young. You know, you're going to meet a lot of people. And someone was telling me like, oh, it don't have to be like that. You can meet your first love when you're young. And it's possible. But you wanna get out there and date. You wanna have fun. You don't wanna feel like you tied down to somebody you're dating like you're married, you know? So I would suggest that to you too. And keep the sexual parts to a limit. Like I would say, don't try to just because you're dating multiple people, that don't mean you have to sleep with them. You can go out to a movie, have fun, keep it in a public lit place to where you limit what happens in the what transpires on the date. So narcissists are damaged people themselves. They will display signs of sociopath gaslighting. Okay, I saw this movie one time, and it's called Gaslighting, and it was a black and white movie, really old movie, but it was like this man, he was in love with this woman, and he would go out at night and pretend he was working, but it was like a apartment above them, and he would go up there and make all these noises to the point to where he had this lady almost going crazy just to keep her codependent. And we're going to talk about codependency as well. So, gaslighting, definition, manipulative behavior. You know, I do this every week. I said this word all day now. You know what I'm saying? Manipulative behavior. They sow seeds of doubt constantly, making one question their memory, perception, or judgment, often invoking them cognitive. Including pushing them into low self-esteem. Mainly, that's their main focus when they're gaslighting. They're trying to push you into a low self-esteem point to where you just all the way dependent on them, and your world starts to revolve around them. Narcissists target high self-esteem people. They have that drive to lower your self-esteem to demonstrate their authority. Most narcissists don't realize they are narcs. I said narcs because I got tired of saying narcissists. So that goes to show, like, going back to the reason that develops narcissism is because some people come from a broken home, a hectic childhood, to where they're pushed into it and they don't even know it. Like it can be like it is a mental disorder. So some people realize they're a narcissist and they want to get help, and then others, they use it to their advantage. So be mindful of that when you're looking for those signs. So when you kind of go through the signs of a narcissist, you got to remember you can't diagnose them. Only a professional can do that, because something else could be going on. So just be mindful of the signs without trying to diagnose a person, and then come to your conclusion. Am I really to deal with this? You know, can I deal with this, or do I just need to take this and just as a way to just get out and go? Some people are strong enough to do that, and some people aren't. You got to remember, we can't help who we love, you know, especially if you come from a family or a point in your life to where you ain't had much love, you feel low loved, and this person, for some reason or another, you just clung to them, and now you're in love with the person. So when that happens, you need to figure out, is it worth staying? And like I said, if you can't leave, try and get them help, you know. Try to get them to understand, like, hey, this is a problem, or this might be a problem. And hopefully you're dealing with a logical narcissist who is willing to get that help and say, hey, and I do have a problem. Realize they do have a problem, and they love you that much, or care for you that much, or even care for themselves that much, that they want to get the help that they need. So, and if they're willing to do that, then I would say, okay, try to, you know, stick it out with that person. You know, and you might be, the Father might have sent them your way just for that, for you to help them. But by no means do I want you guys to lower your standards or put yourself in any harm's way, mentally, physically, trying to save somebody else when that's not your job. You can help them get help, and that's it. Like I said, the narc must be acknowledgeable of their problem and willing to work on the issue. And knowing that with them dealing with that issue, a lot of things are gonna probably come up that they don't want to deal with, like the pain from their childhood and other things that may have led up to that point of them becoming the narcissist. A narcissist is like a nice looking house on the outside, but when you open the door and walk in, the house is destroyed. Broken light fixtures, broken window, bashed in walls and doors, etc. You can fix/rebuild the house, but it's like a person, it's like you up there putting up wallpaper, and then the kid comes in and tears it down, and you're like, oh, I gotta put it back up. That they keep tearing down. That's narcissistic behavior. You know, that's a typical narcissist. Like, even though you're trying to help them and rebuild them, they are going to go in self-destruct mode, because that's all they know. So you gotta be mindful if you want to deal with that rebuild. Keep on going through the same thing, it's going to be a lengthy process. It's not going to be something overnight. You got to really make up your mind that that's something you want to do, is sticking it for the long haul, and just be there for them. And that's some deep love right there. So acknowledge the process will not be easy. It's going to take a lot of work, and the narc has to be willing to do the same work. And as I said, it's going to be painful work. So a lot of people don't want to deal with that, like that pain, and they'd rather just say it's easier to go on living how I've been living, because it's not going to bring up these issues that I had in the past, and it's just not going to be painful. So I'd rather just stay the way I am. And if they are willing to change, you guys seek professional help. Don't try to do it yourselves. Try to get help from a pastor. I would say go to someone who's trained, a therapist, and pretty much any therapist can help you with that. Psychiatric help. Okay, so here's a main thing about a narc. When they know that you're on to them, that's why it's important to recognize it quickly and put it to bed quickly. Because if they notice that you're on to them, especially if they're intentionally doing it and it's deeper than like something that they have been conformed to, at the first sign of you saying no, stop, and don't, well, let's go back. They will flee. They'll flee. if they see you like, oh, they're on to me, I'm out of here, I'm going to my next victim. Or if it prolongs and it goes on deeper and everything's going good until you say no, stop, and don't. And then they flip out and this whole nother person comes out and you're like, oh my goodness. But I really suggest you guys not to let it get to that point, because if it's to that point, then your feelings are more involved in it and you're going to be more liable to give them chance after chance after chance, if you know what I'm saying. Narcissists, they prey on the weak and they set out to prey on the weak. And they purposely, guys, gaslight others. And some of narc victims are innocent and some are codependents. So let's talk about codependent. What is the definition of a codependent? A person who enables another person's addiction, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement, excessive reliance on other people for approval and a sense of identity. A person who cannot function on their own and whose thinking and behavior is instead organized around another person, process, or substance. Many codependents place a lower priority on their own needs while being excessively preoccupied with the needs of others. Example, getting a partner or a family member to become sober or drug-free might seem like one goal which, if achieved, would bring them their self-happiness. Another example, a person that finds no satisfaction or happiness in life outside of doing things for the other person, the narc, or stay in a relationship willingly after they are fully aware that their partner is doing these hurtful things. They do anything to please and satisfy their enabler, no matter what expense it is to themselves. Feeling guilty about thinking of themselves, ignoring their own morals or conscience, to do what the other person wants, use their time and energy to give their partner everything they ask for. You might even be codependent person. The codependent person will feel extreme conflict about separating themselves from the enabler because their own identity is centered upon sacrificing themselves for the other person. So people must be willing to walk away and be alone. Set your standards and don't budge. This is touching on the 5 non-negotiables we spoke of. Work on pleasing the Most High. Yah, seek within yourself. Ask yourself, do I possess the 7 fruits of the Spirit? If not, work on that and following Yah's commandments. Then you will gain peace and self-love. Learn to love yourself first. And when you do that, all the other things will be added unto you. As for me, I'm totally willing to be by myself, until the Father calls me home. There's no more settling for me or anything. Like, you guys got to be aware and be on guard of narcs, because people, they are super slick. You got to think about it. Like, if they weren't slick, if the narcs wasn't very, convincing people, then we wouldn't even fall in that position in the first place. So, yeah, that's about all I have. So, I'll take any questions or anything anybody wants to talk about, any experiences or anything. I know for myself, I've been involved with a lot of narcs and just didn't even know it. Like, I really went in on studying this tonight because it was super important to me, if I'm going to be, trying to work with people and help them identify with themselves and different problems that they're going through, Like, I'm studying on a lot of different things as far as personality disorders and mood disorders and stuff. And I'm really thankful for this domestic violence little little segment I had last month, because I don't think I really would have looked and went that deep into it without that segment. So I will be participating in Domestic Violence Month every year. I'm going to make it a big thing for me in this organization. So, well, if you guys don't have anything to say, looks like I'm getting good on cutting down this segment. So I just want to give you guys a little inspiration and let you know that you're not alone. If you need to talk about anything, if you have any questions about if you are in a domestic relationship, which you shouldn't have any, but some people do, you know. Some people come from whole homes and they've never seen any of this stuff before. And I know myself, like, I'm a very caring person. I like to make myself available to people like that. A lot of people call me when they're having problems and stuff, and I'm a good listener, you know. But since I come from a broken past, I can identify a lot, and some people can't. So if you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything that's on your heart, anything that's troubling you, feel free to call me, inbox me for my number. I will give it to you. I might send you through a little screen check because we got crazies out here, but I'll be an open book for you. Like, my heart really hit home on this one, like, and I'm just keeping, you know, anyone that may be in this situation. I pray all the time. Like, I don't know the person, or I may not know the people personally, but I do pray, like, for anyone that's going through it, that they find help and a way out, if, you know, need be. Or if not, if it on the other way around, on the other side, like, if a narcissist, like, I think maybe in the past that I might have had some narcissist tendencies, you know, because of some stuff that I have been conditioned into. And that may have been the reason, you know, some things went bad in my marriage. But I'm really, you know, searching and seeking a different path. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in again for another episode. And thank you guys who have went over and subscribed to the YouTube channel. Please follow us at go on and subscribe. Woman in the middle of it. It's just like that. I think it is spelled capital IT. And if you can't find it, just put my name in, just like I spell it on Facebook, and it'll pop right up. But I Googled it a few times, and it came right up for me. So also Instagram, Shamika Be Well. And then Snapchat, Shamika Be Well. SHEMEKA BWELL. You can head over there and check out some recipes for Favorite Fake Vegan Chick. I do post some inspirational stuff on there for women in the middle of it too. I have one solid page for all my ventures. My Forever Covered, it's my business. I do balloons and stuff. You might see some pictures of just various stuff on there. So yeah, head over there and check me out. Snapchat, I do snippets of Favorite Fake Vegan Chick, just some stuff I eat, just fun stuff on there. And then you can go over to YouTube and subscribe for Favorite Fake Vegan Chick as well, and full recipes. If you guys are trying to eat healthier, go vegan, or just want some recommendations on some stuff, I do a lot of stuff on that channel. So thank you again for tuning in. See you next week, and I'll let you guys know what the subject will be. Shout out to everybody that just supports me on a weekly. Everybody that personally inboxes me and give me inspiration. You guys don't know what it does for me. It really doesn't. You really don't. It does so much for me. Like today I got like 2 people that inboxed me, and one of them was when I was waking up this morning, and another one was right before I went on the show. Very, 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 very appreciative, you guys. You don't even know. So thanks again. I'll see you again next week if the Father says so. Bye.